we're going to record a little later. There we go. So this was whenever I was trying to get a Transform 20 boot camp together. The top one is. The second one is more of like not directly inviting them to a specific boot camp, but it's just asking them if they'd be interested in learning more about it. Just, I don't know, just kind of like a more broad thing. This one, like the bottom one, I think is a little more lengthy than what I would usually send because I don't know. I don't really like doing the lengthy ones. I like to make it short, sweet, and to the point. I'm going to stop the sharing though. How the hell do I do that? So then there are so many scripts though in that Coach Family Facebook page that I think all of y'all are a part of. You can find so many scripts within the files, I think, of that. And also in the New Coach University, there's a bunch of scripts that way that show you how to handle objections, all that kind of stuff. But you can see that on New Coach University. So now like growing your Instagram. So you can search hashtags. I don't really do that because I feel like the only people who really use hashtags are those who are already like in an MLM kind of thing, who are like Rodan and Fields or other Beachbody coaches or anybody like that. So I don't really search hashtags, but one thing that I find that's really helped me is if you go to location or places, like if you go to search and then share this again. If you go to search, damn it. And at the top, you can type in places. And I would put like, okay, yeah, so you could see my recent ones are things like the Children's Museum, because I know that I'm going to find other moms. And if you click on it, if I click on Children's Museum, go to recent, and if I just like click on a picture, maybe I'll click on their Facebook to see, or click on their Instagram page to see if it's somebody that I'd probably vibe with. Then I'll either comment on their pictures. On a couple of them, there's like, people say you like 5 pictures, comment on like 3, and then follow them. I don't really go to that extent. I'll just like or comment on a couple of them, follow them, and maybe you'll get a follower, maybe not. So I'm going to stop sharing that now. So that's one way that I like to find people to follow. So then hopefully they'll start following me and really get to know what I'm all about. And that I feel like, God damn, sorry, my phone just keeps like popping up the pictures on my computer and I don't know why. So that's one really good way to find people who are kind of your tribe and that really enjoy things that you like to do. Like I would also not only Children's Museum, but there's like the Lincoln Salt Dogs, which is the little baseball team that's in town here. I'd probably go there and on those locations and just creep through the pictures and see who I find over there, because we like to go to baseball games. So I'm probably going to find somebody that I kind of vibe with. And also I actually just heard about this recently. I haven't tried it too much, but even if just like your friends that you have on Instagram, follow some of their followers, because you know that, I mean, you get along with your friends, so obviously you're probably going to like some of their friends too. The only thing that I've kind of thought was weird about that is like if somebody saw that I was trying to follow them and they saw that our only mutual friend was like, let's say Cody was our only mutual friend, and then the girl messages Cody like, who is this girl? Why is she following on Instagram? And then I'd just kind of be like weirded out, like, oh, that's embarrassing. Like she thinks that I'm just following her for Beachbody, but whatever. So that's kind of like an iffy way of doing it. But one of the top girls in the company, that's her main way of finding followers. So when it comes to following all these people, what I do is I follow like 100 to 150 people a day. And I'll tell you an easier way to follow that many people at one time. So Monday through Friday, follow 100 to 150 people. And on Saturday, I don't follow anybody, but I just kind of like, I'll scroll through Instagram and just engage with them, like, comment the people that I'm following. And then on Sunday, there's an app I'm going to tell you about where you can unfollow everybody who has not followed you back, because you do not want to have more follower or more, you don't want to follow more people than what follow you. Like my followers, I think is like at 22,000, a little over 2,000 right now. And after like towards the end of the week, my following ends up going up close to 2,000. And I'm like, oh God. And then Sunday I drop it back down, and I'm usually like at a steady 700 of who I'm following. So you just want to make sure that your following is less than your followers. So that's why Saturday and Sunday I don't follow anybody. There's a few different apps that you can use, free apps. There's one called Captivate. Well, okay, so first I'm gonna talk about Stem Social. I started out with this app. No, it's not an app. It's a website. It's called Stem Social. I think it's like stemsocial.com or something. And it worked really well at getting me followers, but it wasn't getting me the followers that like I would really vibe with. You type in the accounts that you would get along with. Like, I mean, I would put like Reese Witherspoon, and because I like Reese Witherspoon, or like there's this girl who's a real raging bitch on the show Below Deck, and I just think she's awesome. So I was like, I clicked as her account, and then some of the people that it was following though were like really weird people. So those were the followers that I was getting back. Because like Stem Social would go on my Instagram and it would start following all these people for me. And then the people that I was getting followed back by were just like, I mean, creepo men, and it was just too much. So I ended up getting rid of Stem Social. It's supposed to cost you like 30 or 40 bucks a month, but I got 1 month free, and it got me a lot of followers, but just not who I wanted. So then there's this other one called Captivate, and it's a free app. I think there's like one way that you can pay for it, but I've never done it and I haven't had any issues. And that one, I'm not going to go into too big of detail on it because I don't want to keep y'all here forever, but it's called Captivate, and there's actually a couple calls, like team calls that our bigger team has had in the past, and they explain Captivate really well, but it makes it super easy to follow people really fast and unfollow people really fast. And you can see like it gives you a list of everybody who you're following, and it tells you like mutual follow, they don't follow you, mutual follow, like, so then you can just click really fast all those people that are not following you, and you can just unfollow them quick. So then also, if your Instagram is not set to a business Instagram, I highly recommend it, because when you send it over, like push it over to a business Instagram, you can link it to your Facebook page if you want to. I don't do much with Facebook because there's so many weird algorithms that like it just kind of boots you out. It just doesn't really help your business, I don't think, because not as many people see your Facebook posts as they do on Instagram. And there was actually recently a bunch of groups that people had made, like all of a sudden, if they didn't have much traction lately, then they were just deleting all these people from the groups. And I don't really know, I don't know. So I'm just all about Instagram. I feel like a lot of the Beachbody coaches are more so on Instagram these days instead of Facebook, because just not people, nobody's really seeing their posts on Facebook. So when you switch over to business Instagram, you can link your Facebook if you want to, but also you can get this. I'm going to share my phone again. So then something's going to pop up again, and then you're going to see weird pictures probably. So when you get a business account, like does my laptop screen show up too when I share? No? Oh, okay. So when you link it to a business account, it's really easy. I think you maybe go to settings. Oh, I don't know. It's easy, I promise, if you know what you're clicking. um, so what you can do is push this like link tree button right. Did you all just see what I just highlighted? Like it's just, it says link tree, whatever. Whenever you click on it, then you can put these links in here and people can just click on whatever links it is. And I add like, so when I do my, I don't think I have one right now, but there's some way that you can put a form in there. So let's say you put on your story like, hey, I'm running this boot camp. If you're interested, you can either like drop an emoji, like swipe up and drop an emoji in my messages, or you can go to my bio, click the link in my bio, and then you can fill out this form. And the form is going to be like, what's your name? What's your Instagram name? Do you already have a Beachbody coach? Like things like that. And you can use, there's Google Forms or Jotform. I always use, or Google Form. Yeah. I always use Google Form. A lot of people use Jotform, but I don't know enough about that one. So that's an easier way to get people, like when you have an influx of people like always trying to get into your challenge groups, that's a really good way to say, hey, this is the quickest way that you're going to get to me. So I sometimes use it, but I feel like not many people have reached out to me that way, and that's okay. So another thing I wanted to go over with Instagram is curiosity marketing. So let's say you are taking a picture with your canister of Energize. Rather than showing like the front label where it says Energize, maybe just show the back label so they can't actually see, like you don't want to show them that it's a Beachbody product, not because you're trying to hide it, but because sometimes when people see the word Beachbody, they automatically like, oh no, like no thank you. Because they just, maybe they've had a bad experience in the past, maybe they just, I don't know, just some people like when they hear of different companies, it just scares them. My computer's freaking like asking me to update. Ugh. Okay. So like with Shakeology, like don't say, oh, I'm having my Shakeology right now. Say something like, oh, I'm having my superfoods or my daily shake, or like my superfoods is acts like 7 salads but tastes like a dessert, or whatever. And with the Energize, maybe come up with a different name for it. Like I usually call it Mama Crack. I don't think I ever say Energize. I usually say Mama Crack, or like, this is my pre-workout, my all natural plant-based pre-workout. And then like, let's say you're hosting a challenge group for 80-day obsession. I wouldn't say, oh, I'm holding a challenge group. We're doing this fitness program called 80-Day Obsession, because a lot of people have heard of it already, and it's just probably going to scare them away. So instead of saying that, say like, oh, I'm holding a program or a challenge group, and we're all doing a 13-week fitness program or health and fitness program. Or like instead of saying 21 Day Fix, like we're doing a 3-week health and fitness program, because like just people get scared off whenever they hear Beachbody or 80-Day Obsession or things like that. And I know I have in the past too, because you want to tell them what you can bring to them, the tools that you can give to them. So that way you're just not scaring them off. And just some of these, like Beachbody just has like a weird cloud above their head. I don't know. It's really weird, but I just feel like whenever you mention Beachbody or name drop any of the programs that are pretty well known, then people are just like, no, thank you, and just move on. So that was really all it was about curiosity marketing. And then another thing that I just kind of wanted to touch on a little bit was like the photo editing. I know a lot of people use the what are they called? Like the filters that Instagram has. And that's what I used for a while. I actually just got Lightroom, and it's made by Adobe. It's a free app that I just put on my phone. But you can, if you know how to like fiddle with filters, like, I mean, individually, like you can do I don't know what the different names are, like the exposure and all those different things. And you can slide the scale for all the pictures, but you can also buy a filter, like just it's just a lot different of a filter than what you would find on the Instagram filters. I bought one off of Etsy for like $5, and it actually gave me like 10 filters I could choose from. But they say that if your pictures are all like relatively the same color scheme, then they really stand out to people. So there's another one called Snapseed, another app that you can use, but I don't know anything about Snapseed because I've never used it. But Lightroom is pretty good. And then whenever you are like posting on your stories or on like just your pictures that you post on Instagram, I mean, I definitely talk about the challenge groups that you have and everything, or boot camps, but also make sure that you talk about like the business side, because if you're only talking about the boot camps and the challenge groups, you're only going to get like challenge group and boot campers. If you mention the business side a little more, then you're going to find people who want to work the business. And that's when you really start to make money, is whenever you start to build a team. So whenever I'm saying like talk about the business, I mean just like breadcrumbing here and there. Even if, I mean, at the end of this call, I'm probably going to be like, okay, everybody say cheese. And I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to put on my stories and say something like, I don't know, giving these ladies all my knowledge, or I don't know, like something like hanging out with my girls tonight. And so that way, like, people know that it's not all about like strictly business. I mean, it can be fun. If I had a glass of wine, I'd hold up my glass of wine and say like drinking while working or something like that, with the picture of y'all in the background. So, I mean, and that's just one way that you can talk about the coaching gig. But you just want to make sure that you do breadcrumb it, like drop it just here and there. So that way you're not only attracting those who just want to be in your boot camps, you're going to attract also those people that maybe want to work the business side, just so that they can learn a little bit more behind the scenes, rather than like you just trying to explain to them whenever they reach out to you and try to explain to them all about the coaching gig. And I had my notes like really nicely written out. And then towards the end, I just started throwing notes like all around my paper. I don't know, I can't see, but so now I'm to the point where I'm like reading everything that's like on the outskirts. Oh, and another way to like start conversations with people to eventually invite them, is like going through people's stories and watching their stories and maybe like commenting, like doing the little reply to their story. Like, I don't know, like if I saw Cody's daughter Emerson doing something cute on her story, and I'd like reply and say, oh my God, that was freaking adorable. And then maybe they'd reply back, maybe not. But I find like that's a nice way to just start conversations, because I'm not the kind of person that'll just reach out the first time, just messaging them, hey, how was your weekend? Like, that's just weird. And then also to start conversations here and there is if you, on your story, if you use those polls, like there's the poll, there is the slide the bar, like the emoji. You can do one that says like, oh, do you like pizza or something like that? And then there's like the pizza emoji. And if they slide it all the way to the right, like they really like pizza. And then you reply to their answer and say, oh my God, you like pizza? I like pizza too. Like, probably not something that kind of example, but it was just something I could throw out there. So you could use that one, or like the polls is really good, especially when you're running a boot camp and you're like, okay, I can reach out to you, or you can message me quick, or you can just vote on this poll and I'll reach out to you if you're ready to get started on the boot camp. Those are really good ways to get people to just like, it's an easy click for them. They don't have to actually message you. But then also just make sure that you're not only using them for boot camps or like trying to get them signed up for a challenge pack, because it's just a really good conversation starter too. Like, I know sometimes when I'm watching The Bachelor and I'll do something with one of those, like slide the bar, or the polls or whatever, the questions. And, oh, how sweet. And oh, God damn it. Sorry, this thing keeps popping up on my computer. So just finding different ways to start conversations. And like, I mean, there's so many resources throughout Instagram. It's insane. And I'm sure there's a lot more that I don't know about it. I feel like Instagram doesn't change as much as like Facebook does, like their algorithms. So who knows, maybe in 6 months, maybe all the stuff that I just told you is going to be totally wrong. We have to find a different way to do it. But these are just things that I found have helped me a lot. And I mean, I know I'm not the only one. Like there's quite a few girls. So that coach family group, that is led by the number one coach in Beachbody, Ashley Molstad. And she has she's created so much awesome training for all of us. So if you're ever in that group, just peek around at the files, peek around a bunch of the posts. Like people are always posting questions, and they could be questions that you may have. And definitely use that as a really big resource for you. But I learned a bunch of this Instagram stuff from other coaches that are on the same team, that are like on Ashley Molstad's team. Like I'm like 2 or 3 down from her. But definitely, I mean, do y'all have any questions about the Instagram thing that I've told y'all so far? I know it was a lot of stuff at one time, but it's just, I thought about making like a slideshow, but then I just told myself, okay, work smarter, not harder. And I felt like I would have tried to be way too like picky on how I was going to put everything on the slideshow. And then I'd spend like 3 hours putting it together. And then I'd only talk to y'all for 30 minutes telling y'all about it. And then I'd just be mad at myself. So if you have any questions, let me know what your questions are. I'm going to look at everybody's chats. Oh, 3 text raise. Awesome. These are awesome. So spree tail. Very good. So if y'all end up like, my homework for you is to come up with a hashtag list. And you don't have to show me or anything like that, but just so that way, whenever you start doing your Instagram posts and putting your hashtags in the comments of it, then it'll make it easier to just have a whole list of them out, break them up into like 3, so then you can swap them out. And that is my homework for you. Just come up with your hashtags, and not just Beachbody, 80-day obsession, Shakeology. Any questions? I don't want to hold y'all too late. No? Okay. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed the first team call. Next week we are we're going to start going on Wednesday nights now. Tonight was just weird. But Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Central Time, starting this coming up Wednesday, we're actually going to be teaming up our team calls with this girl, Anna, and her team, because we both like just have a small group right now. So we're like, oh, might as well combine. And then, I don't know, just more extra knowledge. So I'm excited about that. She's been in the business about the same amount of time as I have been, I think. She's really cool. She doesn't have any kids, but she loves to travel. I think she's been to like she was in like Hawaii like a month ago. She's been all over the freaking place lately. And she's actually going on a Success Club cruise next month. And that was the thing that I got invited on, but I declined. But all right, that's all that I have for y'all tonight. Sorry, I started going little tangents, but I hope that y'all have a great night. If you have any questions and you just didn't want to put in the chat or talk about it in here, just let me know. Shoot me a text or a message on Facebook or Instagram. And yeah, that's it. Oh, everybody smile. Hold on. How do I go to, there we go. All right, you ready? Everybody say cheese. Okay. I cut myself out, but that's okay. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.